everybody. This is Suzanne Spooner, QHHT Level 3 practitioner in Des Moines, Iowa. And I have another QHHT session segment to share with you. I am so excited about this one. It is fun from the very beginning to the very, very end. It's full of amazing information that I think everybody can relate to many, many times in many different ways. I don't have a title for this one yet. It hasn't plopped into my brain. But I'll tell you a little bit about the lifetime and then what to expect with her amazing high self. This one, she was a giant, a literal giant. And she came with a group of other giants that had to leave their planet because it had become uninhabitable. And they came to Earth to help bring up our societies and bring in technology that we didn't have at the time. And it's a beautiful story. These giants lived for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And her area of expertise was surrounding some pyramids and the construction of the pyramids and using the pyramids for different, modalities, energy. She talks about the first society that she came into that helped construct the pyramids. The pyramids lit up and so much going on, and the society was just running so well. And as his life as the giant continued for over 800 years, we find out eventually, then the society wasn't using the pyramids as he had originally planned. They had lost some of that knowledge as part of their path, their journey, I guess. And he had become what sounded to me like an oracle. He would advise the leaders of that time and the people of that time when events were going to happen ahead of time to get them prepared. In one of the days that we're looking at, he calls it the winds of change. It was a literal sandstorm in the desert that lasted for a month or two, and how he let people know ahead of time that this was coming, and the society moved into the pyramids to protect themselves against all the change that was going on outside. And oh God, it was so cool because he was talking about how he, as this giant, would put this bubble of protection around the people to keep them calm, so they wouldn't do the freak out. Being in lockdown, there's a lot of similarities going on here. And when they came out of the pyramids after the storms had calmed down, everything was just clean and clear, and the energy felt different, again, which may have some similarities to things that we're going through. When we get to her amazing high self, oh my gosh, this is just a wild trip. Every question I asked just led into unexpected information. So we actually, we spent some time at the beginning just talking because of her information that was coming out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I had to write notes down on some of this. So let me just read these a little bit. So we find out that she, like so many of us here, are in this lifetime to live their purpose. And as I'm getting in sessions and hearing from friends who are incredibly intuitive, there's a rush right now. Not a rush. What do I want to say? There is an immediacy that we have to start living our purpose, doing what we came here to do, not sitting back on our laurels and just waiting for the ships to arrive, and we'll just be sucked up in the ships, and we don't really have to do anything. They're like, no, you have to be doing your purpose. And she had a real, very challenging childhood, and so she kind of bought into all of the challenges that the family presented, and she forgot to live her purpose. But she's always had this feeling and this knowing that she had to do more, which so many of the clients that I'm talking to and the people that I meet are saying they have this inner feeling that they've got to be doing more, and they don't know exactly quite what that is. So this is a really great way, if that's you, to follow some of this advice that she's giving herself, which is quite universal and amazing. Oh my goodness. We start talking about this golden grid that's over the earth right now, and how to activate it, how we can all help with that. That leads into a really interesting conversation about things that we're having to navigate right now in these times, things that go in this area. Got that? Okay. And how to create certainty in our thoughts and our prayers to negate if one has to go that route, or is regretful of going that route once they do. And she is the super great example of this, because she has to use medication in her body, an infusion that she gets every 9 weeks. She was telling me before we actually started her session that the doctors have been amazed, because human bodies can't usually do this infusion for more than a few times. They just can't tolerate it, and she's had it for years, and it's helped. And we get the whole 411 of why that has been for her body. It's a very interesting experience, and how she's taken what other bodies can't handle and turned it into something that is most beneficial. It's amazing how powerful our minds are. And this is just a big boot camp for, this is what we need to be doing right now. We need to be stepping it up and taking care of ourselves and helping the collective out. Oh my gosh, she gives this really great, step-by-step, very strong understanding of how to use this green beam of healing light, and how to use that to help the physical body. She talks about megaliths and how the megaliths are activating again. Very interesting. She goes over her immune system. She has had head-to-toe psoriasis, which is at bay, and this is part of that infusion scenario, and how she's transformed the medicine that's going in. She, from that, has had arthritis at a very young age, which has affected her knee, sometimes making it hard for her to even get up out of bed. She had kidney and bladder issues. She had eyesight issues, which for those of us that are getting to a certain age where we need some of that, there's a fly here, that need a little help with clarity. A really interesting understanding about how making things not so focused with the physical eyes is helping us go in to help the third eye. So maybe not all that bad, but she does report that some very interesting things have been happening with her eyesight. She's seeing things out of her peripheral vision, colors, flow of energy, and physically she's feeling much better. This session happened last week, so there's a lot going on there. And bless her heart, like many, she's working a regular job, and she's not happy doing that because she wants to be doing her purpose. She actually has started with an energetic form of work, but has been kind of quiet and keeping it under wraps. And I'm very happy to be a platform for her. She wants to share her website, so I'm going to put that down in the description. Please go and check her out. She's awesome, and her skills are amazing. And if you feel called to it, check out her services. She's a very, very bright light, and she's stepping into her purpose. So we can all help her with that. All right, still don't know what the title is. It probably will have something to do with the giant. This is funny. When she was going through that lifetime, she said that she felt that she was maybe 15 feet tall. And when I got to her high self, it says, she kind of likes to diminish her power and how she is. She's actually much, much bigger than that. She is 25 to 30 feet tall, not 15. So can you imagine? It made me wonder about, they said that the giants were placed at different key points energetic points on the planet to do the same work that she was doing, but in different ways. And one of my favorite places in Italy is the Pantheon, and that big giant door that is just ridiculous. Makes you wonder who walked through those doors. Maybe they had one of their own giants in that time and place. All things are possible. All right, kids. Well, that's all I got for you. So I hope you enjoy this session. And this was, sorry, I keep thinking of great things. There's so many great things in this one. So there's things I'm listening for in a session that makes me ponder while it's happening if this would be a good one to put out. I kind of get that feeling pretty quick when they begin. And so towards the end of her session, I just kind of flat out asked her very interesting high self, what it thought about that. And it's like, yeah, I think she should. But of course, she's the final decider of that. So thank you to this client for allowing me to set this one out to the public. It's so exciting. But we kind of got into a conversation about that, and she spoke about how these recordings are affecting the people that are listening. And I asked for the first time ever, I don't know why it's the first time, if the high self had a message for you, the listener. And oh my gosh, it was beautiful. So that's how we end on this one. So I hope you enjoy this one. All right, we'll talk to you later. Be good. Be safe and keep your head positive. Stay out of stupid fear. Do not go to fear. Things are going to get a little crazy, I think, in the next few months. And stay as an observer, stay in your positivity and know your truth. And we're going to all get through this just fine. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.
What's the very first thing that you noticed?
Oh, I saw everything like yellow. Like, I thought I was going down into something yellow, but then it seemed like sand. And I thought, oh, going back down to that beach, but there's no ocean. There's just a beach. It's just sand, like the desert. And I look in all directions and it's flat, sand. But then over there in the distance, there's like, I thought it was a mountain, but it looks like pyramids.
Oh, tell me more about what you see over in the distance.
There's like 2 pyramids there. I think one's smaller than the other, or they're like next to each other. You see one, and then a little bit over there, you see another one looks a little bit taller.
And when you bring your focus closer to where you are at, what do you notice then?
Well, when I looked at the pyramid, now all of a sudden I'm near the pyramids.
Okay, and now what do you notice as you're near the pyramid?
I'm just looking at them, and they're really big. It's like I want to go in there.
You want to go in there? Okay. Now, before we do that, I want you to bring your focus to yourself. When you look down, do you see your feet?
Mm-hmm.
And do you wear anything on your feet?
No, I'm barefooted.
Barefoot. And as you move up the body, what are you wearing on your body?
Looks like a dress of some sorts.
And describe that for me the best that you can.
It's like you would see like gauze material, but maybe thicker, not like see-through. But on the bottom, there's like a hem that has like gold on there. It's like gold hem all around it.
Okay. And as you go up the body, does it just hang from the shoulders, or is there a belt?
There's something cinched around the waist, like a sash or something.
Sash. What color is the sash?
Same color, like that gauze, yellowish, gauzy color.
Okay. And do you wear jewelry, ornamentation, marking on your body?
something. I think I have like a gold something on my right wrist. Looks like a band of something. Gold band.
Does it have any significance to you?
It feels special. Like not all of us get this. Only some of us get to wear this.
And do you carry anything in your hands?
Yeah, I got something in my right hand. It's like a stick or something.
Oh, tell me about that.
It's not long. It's like short. It's like that long. It's like a stick, and then at the top there's like something like a maybe like a hook or something. Then there's something hanging from that. Like,
does it have a purpose to it?
yeah, I need this. Like, I need this. I need to carry this.
Why do you need it?
It's part of my purpose here. Like, it's just something it like signifies my purpose of who I am.
And who would you say you are? Or what is your role?
Some sort of leader, like, they look up to me, they need me. I give them, what I give? I give them information. I'm the information giver.
Oh. And what is that like for you?
It's just what I do. I just know this stuff, so I just give it and tell them.
That's nice. Okay, I'm going to ask you about that in just a minute, but let's stay focused on you there for a second.
I'm really big.
Well, I was going to ask, does your body feel male or female?
I feel male.
And does the body feel young or old?
Well, I feel wise, so I want to say old, but I don't feel old. I feel very, vibrant.
Okay.
Healthy, strong.
And, okay, then you feel your body is healthy?
Yeah, I feel very, sturdy and strong.
So in your work of giving information, can you tell me a little bit more about how you know what you know, and what type of information do people seek from you?
It's just, worldly stuff, okay, this is going to be coming and prepare for this. Or, okay, we all need to be doing this now. We all need to be working on this now. And people don't really come to me for questions. I just, there's an area where people gather and I stand up there and there's a time. It's here's the time to gather, and we gather and they wait and they're ready for me to come out. And I come out and I give them the information.
Are there others like you?
I'm not feeling that.
Okay.
I think there's others, but we don't all reside. We scat. We don't all need to be in the same space because our information is needed in other places. So this is my area and I give the information to this area.
Okay, understood. Okay, very cool. Anything else about the information that you give that you want to talk about?
No, to me, it just seems like, information. But to them, it seems very important. And everybody looks forward to this time, this day that I come to give this information.
So it's not often that you do this?
No, it's only when that important message needs to come.
Okay. And so that day, are you meeting with them? Are you sharing information?
Yeah.
And tell me what you're telling them.
I'm telling them to prepare for the changes that are coming. To not be afraid of those changes, because they're going to be fear, because it's not what they're used to. It seems like it's happening to the environment, like something winds, big winds. bunch of sand in the air. So they just need to take cover.
And when you get that information, what is it like for you?
I mean, how do I see it, or?
Yeah. How do you become aware of what you need to share with the others?
Oh, I just see it like it's like a movie, kind of like I just see the picture and I see the movie and I see it happening and I think, oh, yep, this is going to happen. I need to go tell them so they can prepare.
And when you tell them these things, do they always come true?
Yes.
Okay. So they take you very seriously when you tell them.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
They know what I say is the knowing from source.
Oh, tell me more about the knowing from source.
Well, I'm connected to source, so the information just comes like source gives information to me so I can be the messenger of.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow. Okay, you're doing so good. How do they react when you tell them that these big wins are coming?
Differently. Some people are just like, okay. Some people are like, oh no. Everybody's different.
And that stick with the hook on it that you talked about that you carried, does that have a role in this information that you receive?
Like, I don't get the information from it, but it just seems part of me. I don't really understand why I need it, but I carry it, I hold it. There's something with what comes that there's something that hangs on it that's very sacred. There's like it seems like feathers, but it's more solid, like wooden feathers.
Interesting.
Or some kind of bone or stone, or I think there's stone on there. There's some kind of crystal or some kind of stone that hangs on there as well.
Do you keep it with you always?
Always.
Always, okay.
It's always by my side.
Do you get a sense of how you received it? How you came to have it?
I feel like I just always had it.
Always had it, okay. All right, you're doing so good.
And I just seem so big. I don't know why, but I just seem so big.
Like a tall person?
Yeah, like I'm like big, like 15 feet or something, I want to say.
So the others that are around you that live
They're
by you?
small.
Okay.
Like when I say small, I don't mean like they're small people. I just mean like they're regular people. But because I'm big, they seem small.
Right. Does it feel like you're the only real big person within that group?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. You're doing so good. Okay, let me just ask, the others that are spread out in other places, are they big like you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you get a sense of why you and those are such big people?
It's how that's our race. That's how we are.
Okay. Do you get a sense of information about your race?
No, we're part of the giants.
Tell me more about that.
Well, there used to be a lot more of us, but now there's not, and so we have to spread out, and we have the information, so we're needed. And we come and we give the information and we help those people so they can be prepared.
It's very, very helpful to those that you're working with, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, you're doing so good. Let's do this. Let's leave that scene you're looking at. Let's drift and float to where you live, where you eat and sleep at in that time, and now you're there. And describe for me what that's like.
Oh, I go inside the pyramid.
Oh, tell me all about that.
And there's a giant stone, and I just lay on there, and I keep that staff, like, I call it, it's like a staff, but it's not like a tall staff. It's like a little staff, and I keep that staff right next to me.
So you sleep on the stone slab inside the pyramid? And the room inside the pyramid, what is that like?
I see a lot of marble. I think that stone thing I'm on is marble, too.
What color is it?
It's kind of like grays and whites, like stone wood. It's cool, nice and cool.
Comfortable when
Yeah.
you lay down on it? And do you see anything else in that room?
No, it's pretty. There's like stuff on the walls, like I see drawings or like shapes and stuff, symbols and stuff.
Tell me more about those.
Oh, those are the writings from the ancient ones. Messages and codes and.
Do you understand what those say?
Not necessarily. I just know the significance of the different codes and how they activate things, and because the pyramids used to be a lot more active. They used to like emit energies and like lights and like beams or beam.
Do they do that in your time?
No, because like these people, they reside there, but by the pyramids, but they're not the people that created these pyramids, so they don't really know they honor the space, but they don't know the codes and the meanings and how to activate and all that stuff.
What do you think it was like back in the day with the people who built it?
Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. There was so much, like, people work together, like as a team, but like huge masses of people, and different people came to help. Like, there was the people, like I'll say the human people that were the workers, but then there was other beings that came and they assisted and they helped, and they were like, okay, here's the codes and here's how to activate the codes. And people learned that.
And when they activated the codes, what happened?
Things lit up, the pyramids lit up, and it allowed for other dimensions to easily come through, and so more of the others could come and visit and be a part of the planet, because different species are needed. Everybody helps each other.
And how is it that you're aware of those ones that came to originally construct those structures?
I was there then too.
Okay, and tell me what you know about that.
Well, I've been around for a long time, so I've gotten to witness everything, and I was there during those times to watch, and I helped too. I worked with the pyramids and with the other tall ones like me.
Wow. And so have you lived so long that you are alive from that time, or was that what we call a different lifetime?
No, I was alive at that time.
You were alive at that time. Okay. So you can exist for a very, very long time.
Yeah, we do.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you take food or water or liquid in?
No, we don't need to. It's just energy.
How do you resupply your energy if you need to?
The sun.
And tell me what that's like.
Oh, you just stand out there and You look at it, it feeds you. You connect. The sun's a being, you know.
Tell me what you know about that.
Well, I talk to it. And those tall ones, we talk to it. It talks back. Not like words, but like thoughts and not like thoughts like you would think thoughts, but just like energy thoughts, like giving us energy and nourishment through that, and like love. I feel love from the sun.
Nice. Can you communicate with the other giants in the other places?
Mm-hmm.
And how is that done?
Instantaneous, like I just think it, they know it.
And what information do you as a group share with each other?
We keep track, like how you guys doing? Did you get it over there? Did you get taken care of? Yeah. Did they get it? Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we don't look like those down there, the little people.
How so?
Well, my feet are feet. Like, I have toes and all that, but as you go up, it starts to change up here.
In what way?
Well, like we're animals, kind of like, but different animals. Like, we're not all the same animal, but some are different. Like, I have kind of like a bird head, like. And the other one I just connected with when I asked, like, how are you guys doing? It had kind of like a bull or a cow, like a bull, I guess, because it had horn head on it. But he had hands, like human hands, and he got feet, like human feet.
Are your hands like human?
Yeah, big hands.
Yeah, and the bird, your bird head, how would you describe that?
Like my head's really smooth. And it goes down back here, like something goes down back here. And then there's like a long point that comes out here.
A long point. Mm-hmm.
My head kind of comes out, like my head goes like this, and then I guess you'd call it my beak, and then that comes out after that head part. My eyes.
Really long.
Yeah.
Does your head have feathers?
Mm-hmm. Really smooth, though.
What color are they?
I didn't even think about color until you said that. Like an orangey gold. Orange and gold.
And when you communicate with the people that you're watching over, do you do that with words, or is it a different way?
I speak with them.
Speak to them. Very cool. Thank you for all of that. Do you live with anybody else in the pyramid, or is that just for you?
Just me.
And you said there were two. Is this the bigger one or the smaller one?
Yeah, I'm in the big one.
And are there certain functions for the pyramids at that time that you're living in them?
It doesn't seem like it anymore. Like, it just seems quiet in there. Like, it's not as active as it used to be. It used to be really active, and it's just quiet. And it's like an honoring place. It's more like you go there and you like the little ones. They don't come where I'm in that big one, because that's just my space. They don't come in there. That's just my space. And only some of them can go into the little one, but not all of them. And again, it's just a place of honor. They honor that space because of what it used to be, or what used to be there, what used to happen there.
Are there also human leaders?
Yeah.
And how do you work with them, or what is that like?
Well, I work with all of them, but the leaders just take us more serious. The leaders take, the leaders really absorb what we say, not just our words, but the energy of our words, and they hold it so they can share that they can carry on that message with their people.
Gotcha. Okay, so you kind of help them to understand, and they also support what you say.
Yeah.
through their words to the people.
Yeah. Because again, there's some of those people that are afraid. And so the leaders, because they're not afraid, so they help those and continue our message, and they help us reassure that it's all going to be okay, because that's why we're there. So it's all going to be okay.
Gotcha. Okay. Have you always stayed in that area, or have you moved around in all that time that you've been doing your job?
I was assigned to this area for this time.
Okay. Understood. Thank you for that. Well, let's do this. Let's leave that scene you're looking at. Let's drift and float to an important day in that life that you're viewing. A day when something important is happening, and now you're there. And now what do you notice?
Yeah, it's coming. Here it comes. It's the great winds, the big winds. The giant winds. The winds of change, we call that.
Okay. And so what's happening around you?
Well, all the people have taken cover, so that's all safe. Everybody's safe. Everybody was prepared. It's all good. We just have to wait for this time.
Do you get a sense of why those great winds are coming?
Yeah, it's changing. There's a cleansing with it, like it cleans out the areas that need to be cleaned, because some places get stagnant with energy, and stagnation usually causes not good, positive things. So we just want all that to clear out. And so Source is part of the winds of change. Source helps that. It helps. It doesn't create it, but it assists. And that's why we tell the people, no need to worry. It's not a bad thing. It's good. It comes and it clears everything out. And when it's done and gone, you'll feel it when we come back out.
And so what are you doing during that time that the winds are blowing?
Holding space.
And how do you do that?
I just create that bubble. That bubble of protection around everybody. It helps keep things calm, too. It helps their energy stay calm so they don't. Because, with the winds of change comes all kinds of noises and disruption. And sometimes they get like, oh no, maybe it's going to be bad. But by maintaining that bubble, it helps the energy inside stay calm and peaceful.
Nice. And so what happens next?
Well, we have to wait it out. It's a long time. It seems like months. And so... But everybody's been prepared. They have food and water, and I think everybody goes into the little pyramid. I think the little pyramid is what they go.
Oh, interesting. Well, they'd be safe in there, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Wow, and it happens for months?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 months.
My goodness. So when it's all done and you come back out, what do you see?
It's so great. It's all clear and blue skies, the sun shining, fresh air. Everybody likes to come out because, it's nice and safe in the pyramids, but it's nice to be outside because you want to be out in the fresh air and the sun and the sky.
So with all that wind blowing for that long period of time, are the other structures okay?
Yeah, it moved things around. It moved the sand. You see, moves and changes and shapes of things changed and moves, but there wasn't really anything to be destroyed in the first place. Like, there really wasn't any structures there.
Wow, and everybody remained calm and safe and
Yep, everything's okay.
Nice. Anything else going on there afterwards that you notice?
No, just the rebuilding, I guess. Not like things broke down, but just okay, let's get things back in gear. Let's start getting families together and gathering the families and doing their jobs, and everybody has to just start, keep moving forward. Life goes on.
Okay. All right. Well, let's leave that scene. Let's drift and float to another important day. And now you're there. And now what do you notice?
seems like my time's ending here. Like I don't need to. I don't know if I'm really not just needed, but I'm just, that's my time's over. I'm done my job. And
How do you feel about that?
well, I'm okay, but part of me thinks maybe I should stay here, but then I think that and I think, no, you don't need to. You're done.
So
It's okay. So I'm okay, Gwen.
you're okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
What is your understanding of what your transition will be like?
Well, we never really quite know that. So when our time's done, we just are told, okay, time's done. And then we go into like a resting period, and then we're told what we do next after that.
Okay.
Like I won't really know ahead of time. It's not something we know ahead of time what's going to be next.
Okay, understood. So now let's go to that very last day, and now you're there, and what's going on around you?
Everybody's around me inside that big pyramid.
Say that again?
Everybody's around me inside that big pyramid, like all those little people, they're all around me. And I'm laying there on the slab, and they think I'm dead. But I'm not really dead like they would die, like not their kind of death. The body's there, the shell's there, but I'm still, I can see them, so I'm still there, but I'm just not really moving or existing in that same space like I did.
What do you think as you're out of that physical body?
I feel really good and content, like I did a really good job.
It was a long, long time.
Yeah, but I did a really good job.
All right, so let's do this. Let's move away from that scene. We're moving back to the other side, the spirit side, drifting and floating away from that time, back to the other side, and now you're there. What were some of the lessons that you learned in that life?
People work best when they all work together. We get a lot done. They get a lot done when they all work together. And well, it's different things. Like if I focus on where I was and what I did, I was a really good information giver. I was really good at receiving that information, and I was really good at interpreting it and delivering the message. And so sometimes the other big ones would ask me, how do you do that so good? And I say, you can watch me, and this is how I do it.
And what would you say was the purpose of that life?
Information. Knowingness. Being true to yourself, knowing the knowingness, delivering the message.
Is there anything else about that life that stands out that you want to mention?
I really enjoyed the pyramids. It was quite an honor to, not all the big ones got to work near the pyramids or with the pyramids, and I was chosen to do that. So that was really good, and I really liked that.
Did the other giants leave around the same time you did, or did they have other times to stay? And
They all had other times, but it was close in timing.
okay, so they kind of all exited around the same time.
Yeah. There was not, I want to say there was not a need for us anymore, but I think it was more that times were changing, and who we were not going to be accepted like we were at that time.
Do you understand why that change was occurring, where you wouldn't be accepted?
Well, the people were changing. Something was coming and changes were coming to that place. And when the change came, it changed those people's thoughts and it changed their energy. And so they weren't quite as open to what we were giving.
Oh, shoot. Do you get a sense of what caused that change?
Well, you see, things change. Things are needed, and when things are needed, change happens. And sometimes some may say, oh, that's a bad change, but we don't say it's bad because it's just change. And some may say, oh, that's dark, that's darkness. And we say, well, we can see how you'd say it's darkness, but it's just a change that needs to be right now. And don't worry, because with that change will happen again. And when change happens again, light comes about again. It goes like light to dark, to light to dark, to light. And when we were no longer needed, it was just a time for that dark times to come.
Okay. And now that you're done with that time and you're back on the other side, what does it feel like you'll be doing while you're there?
Mm-hmm.
You said resting?
Yeah, not much. We just rest now. We did a lot before, so now we just get to rest.
And what is it like for you when you rest?
It's great. It's like when nothing's expected. You just be.
Do you have form or no form?
No form. No form's needed because you just be.
Right. And how do you know when your resting time is done?
Someone comes and gets you. They say, okay, it's time for the next journey.
And when that time arrives, what is it like for you?
Well, so the resting place is like, there's like you're in this like meadow kind of place, and then all of a sudden you feel like, oh, I need to go by that tree. So you go by the tree, and when you go to the tree, that's where that's where the being's at, and they come there and they say, the being waits for you by the tree, and then they say, okay, it's time to go to your next journey, and then you go through the tree.
Nice. Well, that sounds like quite an adventure.
It's quick. It's like whoosh.
Wow. All right. You are doing so good. I know you could have brought forth many different lifetimes for her to see today. You chose to bring forth this very interesting life of the one who gave information out as a form of a giant, lived eons, it sounded like, full of knowledge. Why was it important for her to see that life today?
Because that's the hugeness she feels. That's the hugeness she feels. We want her to remember that time because that time is important. That being she was important. That's a big part of who she is now still. It's like she's in this little body, but she's crammed in this little body. But she's not that little body. Nope. She's huge. She's like a mountain huge.
Wow. It's kind of sweet and condensed in this little body.
Yeah.
Okay. And can I ask a few questions about that life?
Yeah.
So, he said in that life that he was a giant about 15 feet tall. Is that what you see?
Bigger than that. Probably more like 25, 30.
Wow. Okay. And so
She has trouble with knowing how big something is.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. That's why we're asking for clarity. And so that there were others around the planet that were doing the same work with different people.
Yes.
Different groups.
Mm-hmm.
And where did they come from? What was their home or their species?
Another planet. They had their own planet, but something happened to that planet at some point, and we had to leave it. So we took that opportunity to go to other planets and help out.
Oh, nice. Was that planet destroyed? Or did they just have to leave
The
it?
planet's still there, but it no longer sustains life form. Like, there's no longer any energy to... There's no longer life form energy there. It's like the lights are out.
Okay. What caused that, I wonder?
Something from outer space. Something destroyed it. Some kind of force
Okay.
came in there and just wiped it all out. Knocked all it out.
And he was saying that about the two pyramids, that he, I guess, was the caretaker of that area. Was there also at their construction?
Mm-hmm.
So, long life.
Yeah.
Can you give us an idea of how long that life was?
Oh, hundreds of years. 800?
800 years? Okay.
Might have
Interesting.
been a little bit more, but around 800 years.
Okay. And so at the time where the pyramids were built and that society was just really doing well, tell us what's important for her to know about life during that earlier time for
Energy. Everybody worked with energy then. So we want her to know that she was a part of that, and that's why energy to her now, she doesn't understand why we don't use it.
Right. Well, she said when she was a little girl, she had just a hard time understanding why people did the things that they did here.
It's so weird. Like, why are you guys just not doing anything? And the things you do are so dumb. It makes no sense.
Right. But back then, give us more of a clear glimpse of what life would have been like.
Oh, it was magical. Everybody, it was all about honoring. We honored the planets, we honored the ground, we honored the air, we honored the sun, we honored everything. Everything had its purpose, so you honor it. We honored each other. We all had our purpose. Everybody had its purpose, everybody. Nothing was too small. Nothing. Everybody had its purpose, and you honored them for that purpose. Thank you for doing your purpose.
Wow. Okay. And again, how does the lifetime that you showed her relate to her current life?
Purpose. Energy and purpose. So, purpose is so important. She doesn't really get to live her purpose. So, purpose is important.
Why do you think she doesn't like to live her purpose?
She doesn't know how to. She doesn't step into it. She's afraid. She feels little. She's not little. That's so silly. She's not little.
She comes from a 25-foot
Right.
experience, right? Boy, I'd have to get a much longer bed if she was her true herself in here. Okay. So, the purpose and energy, and she doesn't like to live her purpose. Tell her very clearly.
Well, it's not that she doesn't like to, because she really wants to. Like she wants to, like no other. She's like, I want to live it. But it's just something holds her back. When we look at it, we say that it looks like fear mostly that holds it back. Yeah, it's fear.
Why does she create that experience?
Why does she create the fear?
Yeah.
She's afraid. She's afraid she doesn't want to be judged. She doesn't want to, because, she knows that she doesn't, like, her purpose isn't like what normal people live their purpose. It's not to, like, punch in the clock, punch out of the clock. That's not purpose. That's control. That's, she doesn't, that's not what she's here to do. She's here to do her purpose. And so she's being smushed down, like, she's not even allowed to, like, she's like a star, like, she's bright. And she's not allowed to live that. She's like dimmed. And she lives a dim life, and it's like, it's not good. It's not good for the health. It's not good for the body. It's not good for the mind. And she's like, has that purpose, so you got to do the purpose. You got to do the purpose.
So how could she let go of the fear and do her purpose?
You can't be afraid of those things other people are going to think.
Can't even control that, can she?
No, but, she tries. Because if you control what other people think, then you don't feel bad. If you can say, look at me, I'm a good person, they're like, look at you, you're a good person. And that's what, she knows she's a good person. She knows who she is. She knows she deserves to be honored for her purpose, but she doesn't live her purpose, so people can't honor her. So it's kind of like a circle, like, you live your purpose, you get honored. But she doesn't live her purpose, so she can't get honored. But she wants to be honored because, since this one was little, she knew when she came in little, she said, I know I've got this purpose. But the world showed her something different. And so she believed what the world told her. She forgot.
But at age 7, she had that thought that's always stayed in her mind that this time around I'm doing as much as I can so I can get to the next level.
Yes.
Can you give her all
Yes, because this is the last time. This is the last. This is going to be her last journey as coming through as physical form, as human form.
Okay, all right. I hear that happening a lot in these sessions. A lot of people are kind of cleaning up their plates.
Yeah, because we've all done so much. We've all done so much. Now's our time.
And there's so much going on the planet right now. We need the people like this, like she is, to bring all of her knowledge and her power in and help during these changing times.
That's why we showed her that time. That's why we showed her that.
The winds of change?
No, we showed her that grid. So one time she was sleeping outside, because sometimes she wants to sleep outside and nobody wants to sleep with her, but she wanted to sleep outside. So she was sleeping outside and she woke up. We woke her up. We said, wake up. And she woke up and she opened her eyes and she saw all these lines. What's all those lines? And she said, oh, my eyes are playing tricks on me. It must be from the sleeping bag. I think it's those lines in the sleeping bag, and that's what I'm seeing. But then she said, no, because I keep wiping my eyes and I'm blinking and I still see those lines. And we said, yep, you know what that is? That's the grid that's forming. It's going to be coming. So we showed her the grid, and what the grid is, it's like the beginning of the grid is the landmarks, like the pyramids. There's landmarks all over this planet, and as the wave comes in, and it's bringing the energy, and as it brings that energy, it's going to light and activate all of those places on the planet.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and as it activates those places, like energy, it gets activated, and then the people, then the ones. So the people are waking up, and then it's waking them up, and as they wake up, it turns on their inner light, and then there's that connection. So let's say here's the pyramid, and it lights up, and it sends out a beam. And then let's say a person, they light up. Well, that beam from that pyramid now is going to that person. And then the next person lights up, and now that light from that person is going to the next person. And so all the people that light up and all those places that light up, all the beams and all the lights, and it forms a grid around the whole planet.
Wow. So how is the grid doing now?
It's just starting. It's just starting. It's just starting. And all the places are just starting to be... The people aren't quite there yet, but the places are just starting to activate. Like I think that there's these things that people are starting to see. I think they call them megaliths.
Okay.
And so those are starting to be seen because they've always been here, but they couldn't see them because the energy was different. And now, with the energy changing, they're starting to see them, even though they've always been here. And so those megaliths are starting to send out the tone.
Oh.
And the tone starts the signal. And the signal starts the activation. And the activation starts the grid.
And that's happening now with some of the megaliths?
Mm-hmm. It's sending out the signal.
And then once the signal goes out through the megaliths, the activation through the megaliths, then how does that affect the humans?
Well, it goes to the landmarks. It goes to those points of interest, and then it's like a domino effect, almost like the wave, megalith, landmarks, people.
Nice. Okay.
So everything's starting to connect up. Because what we want is that grid over the whole planet, like a net. It's like a net. And it lights up, and it's like this golden grid, and it's creating like a protective layer, but it also is cleaning. It's clearing out. It's drawing them all out.
Drawing what all out?
All those dark ones.
Okay.
It's pulling them all out, pulling them out.
And what happens?
Draining the swamp, they say, draining the swamp.
Oh, okay. And so what happens to the ones that it pulls out?
Well, we clear it all out. Remember we mentioned before that there was like the times of change, and there's the light, and it goes to dark, and it goes to light, and it goes to dark. Well, that's what we're doing, right? That's what's happening right now. So it's the end of the dark. Now time for the light. It's coming, the light's coming back. So we got to clear out that dark, from all the nooks and crannies, because you know them, they like to hide in the little nooks and crannies.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay, so we're coming out of the dark into the light.
Got to pull out all those dark ones first.
And so how are things going with that from your perspective?
Good. Really good. It's moving quite along. You know, those dark ones, they like to hold on and they like to fight. That's what they do. They're like a thorn in our side. So, we got to pull out the thorn. And sometimes it's not a clean pull out. You got to suck out the residue, I guess you say. You got to suck out the poison that they leave behind. Because sometimes even when they're removed, there's like a residual still. It's like this dark film. It's like a goo, kind of like a tarry. And it kind of resides a little bit. So even after the dark ones are gone, the goo's kind of there. So we got to get it all out.
Clean it all up.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
All of it.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that. That was unexpected information. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I may come back to that, but I want to get back to her list. Would that be all right?
Yes.
We would like to ask for a scan of her body. Would that be appropriate?
Yes.
Okay. And just tell me where you are beginning the scan. We do expect full and complete healing today. Where are you starting at?
The kidney bladder area.
Okay. And what do you see going on there?
There's blockages. There's stagnation. There's cloudiness. There's darkness.
Okay, and what's the root reason for all of that?
It seems like it's not just this here. It's like this has gone on for a while for her. Like she's something she's carried into here, into this time too. Like
other lifetimes?
Yeah, it seems like it's just like something that's it's the best way we can describe it. It's like this darkness, like a congested darkness, and it wasn't always in that area, but it's moving its way out.
Okay, and why does it stay in the kidney and bladder area?
Well, it's exiting. It's trying to exit.
Okay.
But it's for some reason it's like not wanting to move out of there. It's like there's something keeping it there.
She says physically she's had stones that are kind of spiky and don't go out the ureter like the stones normally
Yeah, because it doesn't want to come out.
Okay.
It wants to stay in there.
So what are you doing to completely heal that for her and help it to move on now?
We'll just bring in the light. Bring in that.
How does it react as you're bringing in the light?
It feels lighter.
Good.
It's like there's some tingling. We need to clear out that area. It's like it just needs to be cleared out. If you think of a tube and it's congested, nothing can move through it. So we need to clear it out.
And that's what's happening for her now?
Yeah, it might take a little bit though to clear this out. It might take a little bit to clear this out.
We know you can get it all done today.
Okay.
And how will she feel differently after the session because of that being cleared out?
She's not going to have those pressure pains in there. She's been having those pressure pains lately. It's the kidney. It's that right kidney.
Is that what she was talking about earlier in the last week or so?
It's the right kidney.
Okay. Wow, and just to have all that cloudiness and stagnation and the darkness removed.
Yeah, there's like this film that's in there, and like the stones will form to try to remove it, but the stones can't move out because they're not movable. So, she has to do that whole hospital thing, surgery and lithotripsy. And it's just so hard on her body.
So once this is all healed, will she need to do that?
No.
Good. And what does she do to help maintain that healing?
Well, we like that water. The water's helping. The distilled water she drinks, it helps. Her body likes that.
She had mentioned that some people think drinking distilled water isn't good for the body. What would you tell her from your perspective?
Well, there's a lot of things that they say because they don't want people to be clean and clear and healthy. So that's the plan. We tell them, oh, it's bad. You'll die from this. And people go, oh, I don't want to die. I can't do that. Silly people.
So distilled water is great for her.
Yeah, very good.
Okay. Anything else that you would recommend for her for that area?
Sound healing.
Oh, and tell her all about that.
There's certain frequencies that can be given to the body that helps keep that area cleared out.
Is there a particular frequency that you'd recommend for her?
Well, we've been trying to tell her recently that she can make that sound herself, but she tells us, I can't sing. Why are you saying that? But it's really not about singing. We're not telling her to go and make a record or go do a concert. We're just saying, make these tones, make these sounds. And so sometimes she practices it, and we just say, just keep on practicing that. Because when you get to that tone, you'll feel it. It'll click in. When you do your white light of protection, and you feel that clicking in, it's just like that. It's going to click in.
Well, now would be a great time to give her an example of.
You can just keep on doing that.
Wow.
And if you're in water, like, it vibrates even more. It, like, resonates even more.
Oh,
so we would recommend, when she goes in the hot tub, well, she can do that in the hot tub.
Wow, that is a wonderful suggestion. All right. How is the kidney and bladder looking now?
It's feeling better.
Good, okay. And where else are you looking in her body?
Stomach.
Okay, and what do you see going on there?
She's carrying sadness.
And where does that sadness originate from?
Childhood.
Okay. And what do you want her to know about that?
Well, she almost died when she was in the belly.
Does she know that?
No.
What happened?
Well, there was a wish for her not to be any longer, and she knew within her soul, then, I have this purpose. As a little one, she knew. She came out. I have this purpose. I'm here for my purpose.
Nice, okay. Wow, that's a lot. So the sadness that she's carried there from that time, what are you doing to heal that?
Well, the sadness started at that time.
Okay.
But the sadness continued. When she came into the world, there was not a very good environment for her. It was she probably couldn't have picked the more of a challenging last human time to come about.
Right. Hard environment.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because this one is so special. She's extra sensitive. So to some person it might feel like a warm touch, but to her it felt like fire. So it was challenging for her. Some may look at her story and say, oh, I've heard worse stories. That's not a bad story. But to this one, it was life and death.
Why was she such a sensitive young girl?
Because that's part of her purpose. To have this purpose, you have to have the sensitivities. The sensitivities are the gift. You can't feel, you can't see, you can't hear, you can't know without the sensitivities.
So what others saw as maybe not a positive, it was truly a gift for her to have those sensitivities.
Yes, much needed.
Okay, and then so as she went through her challenging childhood, to say the least, that sadness built up within the stomach.
Yeah, it's just where the body stored it.
Okay.
It could have been the foot, could have been the finger. Body stored it in the stomach.
Okay. So what are you doing now to completely heal that area?
We're pulling out, well, we're going to bring in some love energy in there. Because we want to comfort that sadness.
So you're bringing in love energy?
Yeah,
Nice.
it's like this pink sparkly energy. And we're bringing that in. And it's kind of marbly too. It has like white energy in there too. So we're just kind of washing out the belly. Washing out the belly. Cleaning it out. Loving all the insides. Loving the little sensitive areas. Putting an extra love where needed.
How is the stomach responding to that?
It likes it. It's like fluffy cotton candy being brushed into the stomach, clearing it all out. Yep, she likes candy, so we gave her that image. So what we're doing is it's like a cotton candy, and it's on that little paper, and we're taking it in there, and we're got the little sparkles on it, and we're cleaning all that inside, cleaning it all up. She's going to feel so much better from this.
What will she notice right afterwards?
Well, she's definitely not going to have those upset stomachs like she does all the time.
Well, that'll be a huge improvement in her life, won't it?
Yeah, that helps.
And what can she do to maintain that?
Just like she normally does, her self-healing that she does, she's really good at that, clearing it out. Because sometimes, there's matches, like she has a sadness and then she'll see a match. Like she'll see somebody and feel their pain, and it matches her pain and it lights up that stuff in the belly. So she'll still get a match as far as knowing the match, but she won't have to have the stomach stuff for it.
Nice. That's in the past now?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And where else are you looking?
In her right knee.
Okay. Is this about the arthritis?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was the reason for her to experience arthritis, especially at such a young age, and the feeling in the right knee and the left ankle?
Well, it's again connected with her emotions. It's connected to her sadness. It's connected to it's like a self-love thing. Like she when she was born and she had the sadness and she was always sad, she didn't get much reassurance, like it's okay here, like a mom, it holds a baby and you feel like, oh, I'm safe, or you cry and the mom picks up the baby and you're like, oh, okay, I'm safe. She didn't really get that, so there wasn't much love in that sense, and then it carried on to her to where she didn't have self-love. And then when you don't have self-love, it affects the body. And so the arthritis was part of not having self-love.
Okay.
And the knee is part of that, but also the knee is like moving forward. She is very trepidatious. She's very leery about future and moving forward and what that holds for her.
What do you want her to understand about that?
Oh, dear one. Everything always works out. It always works out, right? You've seen that. You worry and you worry and you worry, and then what happens? It works out. So why did you worry? We constantly tell her this. We constantly remind her. We say, no worries, everything works out. And she says, yeah, but we say it all works out, no worries. So what we ask is just quiet the doubting mind, quiet the questioning. The questioning creates blocks. Just be open. Allow the information to come through. You remember when you were big, the information came through really well and you let it, and you listened and you did well then, so Don't doubt. Don't doubt. No need to doubt.
Nice. Okay. And how is the healing with the knee going right now?
It's good. It's feeling better.
Nice. You'll notice it after the session?
Yes.
And she helps herself afterwards by quieting the doubt and the questioning,
Yes.
moving forward in her path.
Yes, it's going to be a ongoing practice for her to practice doubt because it's become a habit. And, habits, you have to unhabit them.
Right.
So that's just going to take some practice, but she'll get it. She'll get it. This one's very focused. And so once she gets on a path and she knows the path, there's no moving her off her path. But getting her on the path sometimes a little bit challenging. So with this session, she'll get on the path.
Perfect. Okay. Anywhere else in the body that you're looking at before I go to her list?
The immune system is a little bit staggering. So because she's sensitive, the immune system is challenged by everything. The immune system is challenged by non-balance. So when things aren't in balance, the immune system is challenged. And non-balance for her is when things aren't content. Meaning stress, non-balance. Stress causes non-balance. Not eating well causes non-balance. Not good thoughts causes unbalance. Traveling causes unbalance. People's energy causes unbalance. Some places causes unbalance. So just unbalance causes the immune system to struggle. So this could be a challenge for her at times, but she has the tools to activate the light within, which gets the immune system in balance.
And explain to her the tools that she has to activate the light within.
Well, she does the self-healing for any parts that are needed. She calls in the green beam of healing light.
Oh, nice.
And she says this: I call in the green beam of healing light. I ask that this green beam of healing light works with this area, and may all the cells in that area work with the green beam of healing light to make this the most healthiest area you have ever seen. And it works.
Wow.
Every time.
Could anybody use that?
Oh, yes.
How did she come to use that?
We gave it to her, and she listened. So if she does that when she has any kind of stomach issues, because, there'll be times when she might get triggered, and it might create a stomach thing, and then she just goes to that place, and it's gone.
Wow, that's beautiful. All right, very good. Okay, so with her immune system, she did have that experience when she was younger where psoriasis showed up from head to toe. What was the message the body was trying to give her?
Don't put poison into your body. Don't put chemical. Don't put pills. This body needs to be clean. This body is meant to be clear. This needs to be a clear channel of light.
So at the time, what chemicals was she putting in that created the...
Birth control. We wanted her to see. We wanted her to know. We wanted her to feel. Do not put chemical into this physical body.
So no birth control.
no forms of chemical pills. She knows this. Just like doctors say, you need to take this painkiller because you're going to have pain from this procedure. And she says, I cannot take this pain pill. I will get sick. And they say, well, you can take half the pain pill. And she says, no, I cannot take any of the pain pill. And they say, take it with food. And she says, okay, but in her mind, in her thoughts, in her knowingness, she knows she will not take this because it will make her sick. Because when she's taken stuff in the past, because doctors have told her to, we put her in the emergency. We make her throw up. She throws up until it's all out because we do not want chemical in this body.
So chemical, you're saying more like medications?
Yes.
Okay. So what about the infusions that she gets every several weeks?
We allow that for her right now.
Okay, and tell her why.
Well, because when she received this, she was not in a good space and she needed this. And we knew she needed this and we knew she was not at the place to believe in herself to heal. So we said, okay, we will allow this one thing, but in order to allow it, we're going to give her the tools to work with it. So we're going to say, we call this golden light. So she calls in a golden light, and she sees it in that fluid bag, and she envisions that going into her veins. And so it's not really that chemical. Yes, that's the chemical. It's going in there, but it's not really the chemical going in there because we change it as it's going in there, and we make it just the gold light. It's just the gold light.
And that's what's kept the psoriasis gone?
Well, when the body thinks there's a medicine that's fixing, the body gets healed from the medicine, even though it's not the medicine. It's the body thinking it's the medicine. So we say, okay, it's the medicine.
But her intention of the golden light, that changes it?
Yeah, because we don't want that. We don't want that in her body.
Well, just because it's the topic of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I have to ask, could people do the same thing with
Any medicine. Sorry.
No, you're good. With the COVID shots?
Yeah, so we had given her this message, and she has told this to a couple of people, and that is why we had gave her the message, because there's going to be those that are either be given that without consent, or they're going to be meaning children, or they're going to be given that because of a job, or they're going to be given that because of outside pressures, and they do not want it. So we gave her the information so she could tell that information to others so others can know, okay, it will all be okay then. Because what we say is this: you can put in the medicine and you can speak to your higher self and say, yes, I was just given that medicine, but we're going to transform that medicine into light. And so now that medicine is light. And now that light is going to do, the light is now going to do opposite of what they wanted that medicine to do.
Oh, explain that.
Well, this medicine was given for a reason. You see, the dark ones have plans, and they think they can stay longer, but their time is up. So, causing pain, causing darkness to those is fun for them. They think it's fun. They like that. So, they are doing what they can before they have to go. They are creating as much fear as possible before they head out. They are they say we have to leave, then we are going to get rid of as many of you as possible before we go. And to do this, we are going to have some of your people create this to eliminate some people.
Create the virus?
Well, the virus isn't necessarily all that it's been said to be, but the planting of the seed, the planting of the thought, is the virus. And that is the real destroyer. And yes, the jab, as she calls it, is not good as well, and much was put into that, much thought was put into that to create this, to make those that are sick more sicker, to make those that are unwell unweller, to make those that are confused more confused. Whatever was already there is going to be more. So if you already have something, it will magnify that. So this is a smart little thing they've created, that they are putting injections into people, and it is making changes within those bodies. It is changing DNA, RNA, DNA. It is making changes, not for the better. It is making changes to subdue the changes that are coming. You see, the changes that are coming are bringing in the light that's going to open up and broaden what's in the body, what's already been there, what's always been there. So what they want to do is put a cap on that, put some sort of block in between, a buffer, let's say, in between that. And so that's what this is. This is a created buffer, and it is more of a psychological warfare than physical, but they are using that to control the masses, to keep them under control so they can do as much as they can before they all head out.
So those that have already had the jab or will feel like they have to comply, what's your best advice to them?
Well, it's a choice. So there's those that are awake, and those that are awake will know, or if they do not know, they will have the information be shown to them. You see, the information is out there. It's out there. There's those that want to hear the information, and there's those that don't want to hear the information. So those that are open for the information will hear that there's ways around it, that you can call in light, you can transform what has already been put into the body, you can unhijack what has been hijacked with the power of thought, with the power of belief. But the belief has to be stronger than the doubt. The doubt has to be non-existent or very, 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 very minimal. But if they choose that route, they can undo what has been done to themselves.
And what will they notice when they do that?
A message will come to them, either through sleep, through a knowingness, through a thought, that it has been cleared. And they can choose to believe that message, or they can doubt the message. And if they doubt the message, then the clearing is no longer.
That's amazing. amazing. We don't understand the power of our thoughts very well here, do we?
The power of thought is how we connect to source and bring source to the physical. Like prayer. Prayer works. Prayer is magical. But people say, prayer does not work. I have prayed and I have prayed and I have prayed. And what I have prayed for is not happening, so prayer does not work. And we say, what is stronger, your belief in prayer or your belief in the doubt? And we can tell you, we can guarantee you 100%, those that the prayer does not come true, the doubt is stronger. You question, that is doubt. You say, well, maybe, that is doubt. You say, I don't know, that is doubt. You say, maybe, that is doubt. What is not doubt? Doubt is certainty. You say this, I am certain. You stay in your certainty. If someone chooses, they can say this, I am now in certainty. The energy changes. As soon as they say that, the vibration changes. And whatever you ask for at that moment, you are in vibration of the request.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you for that. Wow. Okay. Well, we keep going off on segues here, but they're such delicious segues. I thank you for all the information you're giving us. She would like healing for her migraines. Can you tell her what's going on there with the headaches?
The headaches is there's overactivity within the body. Overactivity can be created in many ways. Overactivity, you can have lack of sleep and the body's trying to work hard. So that's overactivity. The immune system can get low. So the immune system's trying to work hard. That's overactivity. You can be in an area where there's too much stimulation, too much noise. That's too much stimulation, too much activity. When that gets too full, too much, then the migraines begin. And she's warned before that. She gets a feeling and a sensation when they're coming. And if she can stay ahead of it by quieting the mind, quieting the body, quieting the space, she can stay ahead of it. But this one is challenged with that because this mind doesn't like to quiet. The mind worries. The mind is constantly in the lists, in the doing, in the going, in the going, in the doing, in the list. What's next? What do I gotta do? Gotta do it right. Gotta do it next. Gotta make sure I get it done. So even in her quiet time, she does this. So it's a lot for the body. So we need her to be still, be quiet, and honor the body. And sometimes the migraines are given to have her go into that space because she will not do it on her own. So sometimes they are there to remind her to do that. But sometimes it's just an overload of the system.
Very good. Okay. And she doesn't wish to have them anymore. What can you do to help her completely heal that as you're giving her all that great information?
Well, as her healing abilities improve, so will her abilities to move through the thought processes of quieting the mind and letting it go. And we also do see that some of the infusion that she does get is causing some of the migraines because it is a golden light, but there is some residual that does go into the body, and that does also cause congestion within the immune system. So after these infusions, a week of time needs to go by that she is extra, extra, extra honoring to the body and the physical and the mind and the space, what she eats, what she drinks, what she thinks, who she's around, where she goes, anything she consumes.
She'd like to not have to have the infusions anymore.
That's a choice.
If she chose to stop taking them, what would her experience be like?
Well, just like we talked about the doubt. So she has to, at this point, the doubt is still not in the percentage. It needs to be in to stop the infusions, but we are currently working with that percentage, and the percentage will lessen of the doubt. And when that percentage lessens, we will send her messages of more thoughts of, I don't need that anymore. I don't want to be on that anymore. I don't need that anymore. And she will wonder, why do I keep thinking those thoughts? Why are those thoughts keep coming into my mind? And it's because we were letting her know it's the time. It's the time now you can choose. You can choose because the doubt percentage has gone down enough to stop the medication and the infusion, because the infusion really is only helping her from her beliefs.
Oh, can you tell her more about that?
Well, because we are not letting that infusion really be the infusion, because we let the golden light do the work. So the golden light is really doing the work, and you do not need to sit in a hospital. You do not need to be plugged into a bag with a needle, with a tube, for golden light to go into this body. You just ask. You stay in your space of knowingness, and voila, is there.
Okay. I like that. She asked for healing for her eyesight. She'd like to not have to wear reading glasses. What's going on with the eyes?
Well, multiple things here. So, yes, deterioration happens with eyesight, but that is not needed. You do not have to have that. You do not have to go the route of age deterioration. That is just a belief. You can even stay in this life form longer if you choose. So that is just a choice. So with the eyesight, she can have, again, the belief that the eyesight is improving. And as she believes the eyesight is improving, guess what? The eyesight is improving. Also, with the eyesight, her sight is changing. And when we say her sight is changing, we mean her inner sight is changing. And for the inner sight to change, sometimes we need unfocusing to happen with the physical sight. It's like a recalibration, we call it. It's like a focusing with an unfocusing to focus. So we have been activating the third eye in this one for a while, and with the distilled water comes decalcification. We have been decalcifying the third eye. And so this has been opening more. And with that, she is able to see. And with that sight, she is able to connect with the intuition more. And with that intuition, she will be connected to the messages. Because as we told her before, when the water is still, the messages will come. And the water, we have water within these bodies. So we contain water. And our water is usually noisy. So when the water is still, the messages will come.
Nice, okay. Might give her a whole different view of her eyesight issues.
Yes.
That's beautiful, thank you. All right, so as a teen, her boyfriend and another had this experience seeing a UFO while they were driving, the car slowing down. That's all she remembers. What really happened at that time?
Well, this was chosen. This was picked. We needed this to happen to awaken and to remind her of her purpose and for those that she's been working with. Because this one questions all the time, who was in that UFO? She says, who was that? Was that us? Was that military? Or was that off planet? And we tell her, you know this answer. You let others cloud your thoughts. You let others say to you, oh, well, it's probably something that was created here, and that's what you saw. But she knows that was not what that was. So it was there to show her she did not believe that she has been visited for a while, for a long time, since she was little. And we wanted to give her a physical, visual, so she would have that to reflect on, to have more of an understanding and a belief that it was real. And it was not for, she wanted to know if it was for those others as well, but it was not for those others. We had those others be there because if those others were not there, she would not believe her own eyes. So we had others there, so they would say, we saw it too. And she would say, okay, I did not make this up. It was not my imagination.
So at the time of that event, was her perception right that the car was slowing down?
We slowed the car down.
Okay. And what occurred next?
We slowed the car down and we brought her on board.
And once she was on board, then what happened?
Well, she wanted to meet them, so we let her meet them so she could talk to them. And that way she could be ready when the time comes. When she does see them, she will remember that time.
So the ones that she met with, what were they like?
Well, she has difficulties with that because they do not look like what those on this planet look like. And you know, there are those movies that tell us this is what this is and this is what those are and this is bad and it's scary and they're going to get you and they will eat you or they will kill you or they will do this. And sure, there are those, but this is not those. And so we want her to know that just because they look different and just because they might look a little bit something like you had seen on the screens or something you'd seen on the floor like a bug, it's not the same thing. It's different. But we understand that in this body, it feels like it might be something that's scary, but we're letting her know that it's not, and we have shown her that just like we had shown her in a dream with the giant insect.
And so what conversation was had? What she learned from that experience?
We let her know that they will always be there. They have always been there. They are part of the purpose because they have been here with her through other lifetimes, and they are assisting the planet, and they work with her to do her purpose when that time comes.
And so in her perception, as they were looking out the window and then the craft went away super fast, that was...
After she was put back into the car.
And the boys, what was going on with the boys while she was up in the craft?
They stayed in there, and they were just what we call in still animation.
Okay. Wow. And the one boy had reached out to her recently just to verify that she remembered seeing it. Why did that happen? Why did he bring that back up again?
Because he has memory, and he worked in the military later on in that life, and he had heard or he had seen things, and he had questions, so it reminded him of when he saw that, and he thought maybe it was just an imagination. So he reached out to her to make sure it was not imagination, and he did not want to reach out to his brother. So because of what he felt might be an embarrassment, so he reached out to her, and that felt safe, and it answered it for him.
Okay, thank you for that. Anything else about that experience that would be beneficial for her to know?
Well, she's been wondering who helps her, who is there, who has been there, and we want her to know that has been us.
So when she asks who or what visited her room, and she says to this day she feels the presence, it would be you?
That was different. So when she was a child, she was more open to seeing that on the other side, and she had visitations by those on the other side. That's all. It was just those from the other side, and there was the presence of a guide, and only because as a child she watched movies. Her parents allowed her to see The Exorcist at age 5, and so that put in a fear, and so anything that was out of the norm, she connected it with the devil. But that was not that. We protect this one. She does not need to worry about that.
Okay, thank you for that. When she saw, as a child, the red eyes on the outside of the window looking in at her, what was that?
That was a being. That was a dark being. So she is of the light, so the dark beings are curious of her and what her role is here.
But it didn't harm her in any way?
No, we kept it at afar. We will not allow that to be in her space. She worries about this sometimes, but she does not need to.
She wonders, does she still have visitations?
Yes, constantly.
And tell her all about those.
So she has visitations by dimensional beings in her sleep. They take her, they show her. She has visitations by those that have passed that visit. She has visitations from what she would call alien or ET beings. She is someone that is visited a lot by a lot of different beings because of her role. She plays a huge role. She plays a huge purpose. This purpose is big. There's a big purpose for this one.
And tell her exactly what her purpose is.
She has come here specifically for this shift, for this event. She is part of the winds of change. And this lifetime, there's the winds of change. We are going from dark to light. And she is here to anchor in that light as it comes through.
And how does she best anchor in the light?
Well, she needs to prepare for this. And this is what we've been trying to prepare her for all her life since she was little by clearing out, by not allowing the chemicals, by keeping this one as clear as possible. She needs to be as clear as possible so she can be a clear vessel to allow the light through it and anchor that through the planet, through that grid that she knows, through that grid that she has seen.
How is she doing with her purpose?
She is not allowing that purpose to come through because she keeps herself in the confines of the matrix of what we have been programmed to live our lives like. She is afraid to step out of that because of what others will see her as.
And what do you want her to understand about that?
Don't let others dampen your light. You are huge. You are huge. Your purpose is not to be small. Allow the light to come through. Do not allow the system that has been put on this planet to keep you small. Don't follow the matrix. Step out like you know and follow your purpose. Follow all the things that you know, all the things that you feel, all the things that you've been hearing and have been told through your dreams that we tell you, that we whisper into your ear. Follow it. Follow it.
When she does follow it, what happens?
It all opens up. Everything opens up. She's been stepping into it. She had a belief that I cannot stop working at this job until financially I can afford it. I can't do that. I cannot do that. So we told her, then focus on manifesting finances. Focus on that. So we put that into her bonnet, as they say, that bee in her bonnet. And she said, okay, I'm going to start focusing on stocks, which is something she had never done before. But we said, you don't focus on stocks like people tell you to focus on stocks. You focus on stocks like you focus on energy. Look at the symbols. Look at the ticker symbols. Does something light up to you? Yes. Well, then you pick that one. And you put money into that one. So she began to do that. And what has happened is that money is coming about. And we said, okay, where else do you want that? You want that in your checking account? Then you focus on that being in your checking account. And what has happened? The checking account has begun to raise. Checks show up in the mail. She says, where did this come from? Well, you know where it came from. You were focusing on bringing in the finances. And you were focusing on the finances for what? For self? Purpose? For indulgence? No, you are focusing on this for your purpose. So it is in alignment. So it works. It comes. It is there. So everything is like that. Everything is like that. You do not want to be at this job anymore. This job is not healthy for you. You know this. You feel this. But you continue to comply like good little girl. You say, no, I have to. This is what I have to do. Good little girls do what they're supposed to do. They do what they are told. And you are told you go to work. You pay your bills. You pay your taxes. This is what you are supposed to do to be a good person, be a good human. Well, you tell yourself that, and then are you happy? No, that's not the purpose. So, what does the purpose tell you? The purpose tells you, let go, let go, let go. Believe, trust, have faith. And what is your faith? What does your faith tell you? Your faith tells you, leave the job and things will happen. Things will come, because when you follow your purpose, things come. Believe, have faith.
Thank you for that. She is asking to have her spiritual and psychic gifts to be turned up.
Yes. Yes, because this is needed for the purpose. And as her doubt clears, and as we had said, doubt will clear through this session, by this session. As she listens to this session, it will help activate and help the spiritual gifts she speaks of to elevate, especially the healing abilities. As she is laying here right now, she feels in her hands the healing abilities turning up.
She says she just thinks and feels the heat in her hands. She knows she has...
She is meant to be a healer, and she can heal more than she is aware of. She does not even have to put her hands on those to heal them. This is part of her purpose, and with the state of the planet at this time, she can work with those that want a healing. If those come to her and request a healing, she can help them clear things from their bodies that they are not wanting in there.
How does she best do that?
She is a light bearer. She can bring that light into her, through others, to others, from source, through her, to others, straight from source, through her, to others.
And she wants to know, is there any significance to her dreams, like when she was flying?
Yes. Yes. Yes, flight is part of her beingness. She remembers flight from many, many, many lifetimes. She is a flyer. She flies. She is one that flies. She flies in her dreams. She flies in her times when she goes into that spirit space and she leaves a body and she travels. She's a flyer. She flies.
So when she was having those flying dreams, she tried to remember it as an acronym, the steps of flying.
Clear, allow, be.
Okay. So it was CAB, not CAD.
Yes.
Clear, allow, and be. Can she do that in this physical life?
Yes, but there is still a doubt in the percentage. So if the percentage can go down, she can fly in this physical. But we do not advise for her to do that for others to see, because it can cause problems.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that. What about her dreams of UFOs?
That is a remembrance, and that is us reminding her of those other times and of the other beings that she is connected with, because she is connected with more than just one being. She connects with multiple beings. They come to her. She has been chosen for them to work with, to connect with. She communicates with them. They communicate to her. They give her information. She is the information person. She is the one they communicate through to give her the information.
Oh, and similar to what she did in the lifetime
Yes.
you showed her.
Yes.
And currently, what is the information that she's working with?
Currently, they are letting her know that not to doubt that there is ever going to be a change. And we are telling her there is going to be a change. There is change coming. Change is coming about. Change is coming about. And there is nothing that will stop what is coming. Nothing can stop what is coming. The time of change is coming, and it goes from dark to light because that's what it does. It goes from dark to light. It went from light to dark, and now it's time to go from dark to light. Now is the time, and she is here. She has chosen this time to witness this, but not just to witness it. She has chosen this time because we have chosen her to help bring in that light and to anchor that into the planet, to help that grid, to help that, like the megalith.
Does she have personal connection with megaliths through time? In other lifetimes? This lifetime?
She admits her body, she can bring in that light, she can bring in that source, she can bring in that energy just like as the megaliths do.
Is there a particular megalith that she resonates with more on the planet currently?
No, she does not connect with the megalith. It is just the same energy that she brings through.
Oh, understood. Okay, thank you for that. What about her dreams of Jesus?
She once walked with this one.
And
she was a healer in the time with Jesus.
And anything about her time then that would be beneficial for her to know now?
Just to know that she can connect with that time, and it will help with the elevation of that healing ability. Once she connects with Jesus, when she has those dreams with him and she feels that energy, that is a reminder of the energy of healing energy, what that healing energy is, what it feels like, how it feels in the physical body.
Perfect. And what about her dreams of fallen angels?
Those were the dark ones. She had a dream that there was fallen angels, that she had a dream where there was a circle, and it looked like to her like a racetrack. And she was in the middle of the racetrack, and on the outside of that racetrack, in the track area, there was a being that fell to the ground, and she looked at it, and she felt the urge to go over to that being and touch that being. And she did, and as she put her hand on that being, it was healing that being, and she can transform light. She can transform dark to light. She can help dark beings transform to light. She can help those that are dark to go to the light and transform from dark to light if they choose.
Okay. And her dreams of the ocean?
She is connected to the ocean because she is connected to those life forms in the ocean because she used to be connected. She used to live. She was a being in the ocean.
Oh. What was her being like?
She swam. She swam with the dolphins, with the whales. She was connected. She could communicate with those beings. Those beings were high vibrational beings just like her, and she is a high vibrational being that brings in that vibration, and she is able to communicate with them still if she chooses to.
Nice. Okay, thank you. Now, we talked about her anxiety, but she does ask specifically, how can she get rid of her anxiety?
The anxiety is part of a choice that she believes in because she listens to the outside and she allows that to interfere with her knowingness. And when she allows it to interfere, it causes the anxiety. If she stays in her knowingness, in her space, the anxiety will dissipate.
Okay. And she wants to know, why is she always drawn to stare at the night sky or the sun?
Well, staring at the sky because she is looking out for those that she knows that are there, that she can't see, but they are there. She feels those that visit her. She remembers that time of the UFO that she saw, and she knows that there is more, but she doesn't not know. But she knows, but she does not know. So she stares at the sky. She's looking. And then with the sun is the remembrance of the time when the sun used to give her that energy, when she used to not have to consume any food or water, and the sun would give her light, would give her life, and she tries to connect to that because it's because it's still a remembrance to her.
Nice. Okay.
She can absorb energy from the sun. The sun communicates to her. The sun has been communicating her. She sees the portal in the sun.
And what does she need to know about the portal in the sun?
The portal is where we, as the ETs, we can come through that sun. It is a portal for us to come through, and it's how we can come through this to this dimension.
Oh, tell us more about that.
Well, we need portals to come through this dimension, and the sun is a portal for us to come through. It is also a being that allows us to move through the being to come to this dimension and visit this dimension to bring our energies through this dimension.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. And she wants to know specifically, what is her roles in the planet's ascension?
She is part of the grid. She is here to anchor in the light. We have brought her here during this time, for this purpose. It is her purpose to anchor in the light. She was brought here at this time for this purpose, to bring in the light, to anchor in the light. She can connect with the crystals in the earth, and that will help her anchor in that light for the physical.
Wow. And she knows what she needs to do. Is there any other tips you can give her?
Just keep on clearing your space, stay in your space, clear the space, stay in the light, anchor the light, and clear the space.
Perfect. Thank you for that. What foods would be best for her, and what does she need to avoid?
We want this one to be as clear as possible. It is not specifically what she eats, but we do not want large quantities of meat in this body. The meat clogs the body. Meat is okay, but we want her to continue to honor the meat that she consumes. When this one eats meat, she says, "Thank you, cow, for sacrificing your body so I'm able to consume you." She does that with everything she eats. When she drinks water, she puts love into the water. We want her to continue this. This intention is how she keeps the body clear and how she keeps the food she puts in this body healthy for her, because a lot of the food that we consume, that is consumed, is no longer healthy for the bodies. The food has been changed on a molecular structure. The food is no longer as the food was meant to be in its natural form. They had made changes to the food to change the structures of the food so people will not be clear. So when this wave comes through, more people don't light up.
Okay, well, with that, her last question is, can we get an update on the status of the event?
The event is happening. She questions that because she does not see. She says, Yes, but look, look, look. And we tell her, yeah. We tell you don't look, don't look, don't look. Feel. What do you feel? I feel like it's coming. I felt it my whole life. Well, then you know. You know. And, dear one, what did we have you call your business? Sacred knowing. Well, you know. Your knowing is sacred. You remember. You know. The event is coming. The event has already begun. The stages has already begun. Everything that you see in play is part of the event. Even that you see that does not feel comfortable is part of the event. Because in order from dark to turn to light, in order for the light to come in, there is certain stages that have to take effect, and this effect sometimes doesn't look positive. But in order for the positive to take effect, those things have to come through. And that is what's happening now. You are seeing the last of the residual of those dark ones fighting and doing what they can to make this as horrible, as painful, as uncomfortable as possible. So people will not go with that light as the light comes in.
And so, as we look a little bit ahead in our timeline here on Earth, what do you see happening?
There is a wave of light that is coming through the planet. It is coming through the universe. It is coming through, and it is making its presence, and as it comes through, you will see more changes on the planet. You will start to feel those changes on the planet. You will start to see positivity coming through. You will start to see a shift. You will start to feel the shift, and those that are awake will see and feel first.
And what will that be like?
It will be like when we were in the pyramids and we walked outside and the air was clear and the sky was clear and the sun was bright and you could just feel it. You could breathe and you could just feel it. There's a change in the air and you can feel it.
Nice. Okay. That's a wonderful place, I think, to get ready to wind down here a little bit. She's done so good. How has it been for you to speak through her today?
Very good. We like this.
And tell her very clearly who you speak as.
I speak as your higher self. I speak as the one that's been speaking to you all this time. We want you to allow our voice to come through you and for you to share this information to others more. You hold back because you are afraid what others will think, but do not hold back. Just like in the other time that we showed you, you were one that you are meant here to deliver the messages. You are the one that the messages can come through if you allow them to. And we say, please allow them to, because you can help, you can assist those that are in fear.
And she's done this before in the other lifetime you showed her, so she's got it within her, doesn't she?
Yes.
In that lifetime, was there a name or a title for that giant being?
Thoth.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. All right. Oh my goodness. So cool. Is there anything that she didn't ask today that you wish she would have?
have brought it up, but since she was little, she felt that she was special, but everything that she experienced told her she was not special. Everything she experienced told her and taught her she was bad, she was wrong. And we want her to know that she is more special than she could possibly even imagine. She has been chosen as a special being to be here in this time.
She can really embrace that now, can't she?
Yes.
And when she decided to have this appointment, what was it that you hoped she received from it?
We wanted that doubt percent to go down. We wanted her to feel that the healing that can come through is real. We wanted her to see that everything that she knows is real.
And how is the healing with the body now? As you look over everywhere that was worked on?
There's still a little bit within the kidney, but everything else seems right on track.
Good. And how about that little bit in the kidney? How can that be helped to completely heal?
Overnight, through the sleep tonight.
Okay. All right. She's going to be in tip-top form by the morning, isn't she?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Anything else that you can think of that's important?
No.
Has she had a feeling of awareness through this, or has she stepped back?
Both.
And what do you want her to understand about that experience?
Just know everything was right, just like it needed to be, just like the wait time that you needed for this appointment. You wondered why we had to wait 10 months for the appointment, but you needed to be at the right calibration, and this was it.
Perfect. Okay. Timing's always perfect,
Yes.
isn't it? Okay. Gosh, it's just an honor to assist in this way. Do you have a final message that you would like to give to her before I bring her back up?
We want to thank you for offering this to those that come to you. You are a big help. You help change. You help give those that need that light to come through, those that need to have there are those that are on they are at a point in their lives where they need a little something to make that shift. They need we call it a push, but it is not a push. It is a flow, but we call it a push. You help give them that push that is needed for them to get to that space that is needed. And for those that listen to these sessions, it is also turning on their light.
Oh, can you explain that, please?
We as humans all have something within us that needs to be turned on. Certain events will help that light turn on. Sometimes near-death experience turn on that light. Sometimes death of others will help us turn on the light. We need certain experience to help us turn on that light. And with you putting these sessions out there, it helps others get their light turned on without having to come in for a session.
Oh, nice. Okay. Well, that's exciting. Very cool. Well, it's a joy to do this, and I would assume that this one will be going out if she's okay with that.
Yes.
Okay. Sounded like this from early on. This was a good one to put out. Well, I've never done this before, but do you have a message to those that are listening to this session then?
Stay in your hearts. There will be time of testing. There are changes that are going on within the planet. There are changes going on within the planet that are making shifts, like earthquakes, like volcanoes. There are changes that are going on in the planet that are making shifts, and we say, do not have fear. Do not have fear. Everything is planned. Everything is for a purpose. The planet is also going through a shift, and for her to go through a shift, she has to adjust, make balances. And the shifts and the releases are happening on the planet, and they will continue. And some might see things get worse, but just know this is all for a reason, and stay in your heart. Everyone that stays in their heart are helping, are assisting in this planet's ascension. So stay in your heart, dear ones. Stay in your hearts. No matter what you see, no matter what you are told, just know you are loved. Love is here. You are, you will always be taken care of.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you.